So this is week 2 policy points. I've completed 2 weeks homeless, and I've noticed a lot of things. I'll recap week 1. One thing that I really like to advocate for are these mats. They're inflatable mats. A lot of people sleep directly on the ground. I did that for a couple nights, and I found that it's really uncomfortable. It's hard to sleep, and the colder it gets, the more the cold sleeps into the body. Some people put blankets on the ground. I don't think it's enough. I feel that anybody that is living in the street should have one of these mats. It's lightweight, it's small, and you can just inflate it. As you can see here, if I open this up, I'm not going to go all the way with it. I'll do two things here. Try to look at the camera. It has like a little thing here that you can, and then you can inflate it yourself. It's really comfortable. I sleep fine with this inflatable mat. So I've noticed some people use them, and I think that it's something that everybody that is living in the street should have. From week 1, I also said designated sheltered places where people can sleep in the street. People just find spots to sleep. They sleep in public gardens, they sleep in the commons, they sleep behind dumpsters. I feel that people should have an area where they can go, maybe like an old subway station or a large area that's available where you could come and go, and maybe even have like lockable lockers where people can put stuff during the days, some of their sleeping stuff and things, so they don't have to carry it around with them constantly or stash it where it could get stolen. Recently, my cameraman's things got stolen, and he's pretty ready to quit the whole project because of it, because he had it stashed. This is a big problem. So having designated areas where people could choose to show up when they want, sleep overnight, and leave, maybe have lockers where they can lock their things up. I think that's very important. It's not a big ask. Also, going to the church dinners around the commons, because I've spent a lot of time around that area. There's a lot of resources. I love the church dinners. A lot of people congregate there. The church workers have microphones and they speak to the people. I feel that social workers, city workers, people that want to help the homeless or work with the homeless should show up to these meals and offer their services and let the people know that they're there. It's a good opportunity. People are seated, they're listening. I think that would be really crucial to improving the conditions for the people out there. Also, helping people with smartphones. Nowadays, the world is run by smartphones. We do everything on there. And a lot of homeless people, a lot of people in general, older people too, don't know how to use smartphones. There's a large older homeless population. So having available trainings on using smartphones and just the basic applications, how to fill out things for, social services, online trainings, whatever it may be. I think that's really important, even just the basics. So that's just a recap from week 1. Week 2, one of the biggest points that I really want to make is, and this has really been bothering me, and this is my opinion, but it's what I've seen. I feel that illicit drug use in the street should be illegal. Walking through Atkinson Street and seeing people use drugs, watching them covered in sores all over their body, dancing in the street, just acting erratically, it's very upsetting. And when I was walking into the shelter on Atkinson Street the other day, I saw a man, and he was laying on the ground on the sidewalk in the street, and I couldn't tell if he was alive or dead. And being a person that likes to jump into action and help others, I was so tired, and I didn't want to expose myself because there was people all around me and I didn't feel safe. I walked past that man to get into the shelter so I could go to sleep, and I'm ashamed of it to this day. I feel that illicit drug use in the streets should be illegal, and I feel that the repercussions for open drug use in the street should be a choice. I think somebody should be arrested, brought in front of a judge, and given the option of either 30 days in prison or 30 days of treatment, some form of treatment, a detox, and maybe a little bit of stabilization with the possibility of further treatment. I do not feel that it's okay for people to openly use illicit narcotics, narcotics that are synthetically made, we don't know what's in them, cut with other things, that it's killing people. They should not be able to use these drugs in the street, in front of police officers, in front of the public. This should not be allowed. You're not allowed to drink an open container out in the street. So why are people allowed to inject drugs into all the different veins in their body openly in the street and live in the street and do this continuously until chances are they either get help or they die? I do not think that that is okay, and I don't know why it has gone on so long. I came to this conclusion a little bit from uncomfortability from seeing it, and my camera guy, LA, suggested it, and it dawned on me. I look back on my addiction training and how I turned a blind eye while I was working in addiction. But now that I don't work in addiction, I can say it openly. I do not think that it is a good idea to allow this to happen. And I think that there should be ramifications for it. Not to punish people, but to help people get better, get well, give them that option. So that's the big one for week 2. I noticed that some people are from out of state. Some people get stuck here homeless. I think there should be a nonprofit. The state doesn't have to deal with it. I know other states don't want us, Massachusetts, sending our homeless to them. But if somebody's from a state and they get stuck here in Massachusetts and they don't have the means to get home, I think there should be a nonprofit or somebody that offers them a bus ticket, a plane ticket, and some money for food or a backpack full of food that allows them to go back to their home state if that's where they want to go, if they have connections there. I don't think somebody should get stuck living in this state, homeless, if they don't have any type of connections or family, especially during the winter when it gets really cold and conditions get dangerous. And I guess my last policy point for week 2 is I think all social workers or behavioral health workers should spend 1 to 2 months living homeless. I think they should get kits and they should come out and they should connect directly with the populations that they're being trained to serve. I've learned so much in the last 2 weeks living out here in the streets that is invaluable that I never would have known otherwise. And I continue to grow and learn. I'm documenting this whole thing. It's completely independent. Some people have gotten upset that I've put in videos out of people on narcotics dancing in the street. I put music to it. And they gotten angry. I want some people to get angry. I want people to see what's happening out here. And I want people to push for positive change. So the things I'm saying are simple. For example, the other day I was trying to find a place to sleep for the night. I wanted to sleep in a shelter. I went to Boston Night Shelter at 4. It was around 4:30. There was a line out the door. And I asked the man in line, I said, how long before I can check in here? He said, well, they give out numbers at 8 p.m. They can only sleep 45 people. So what happens is people come there early in the day and they wait in line for 4 or 5 hours so that they can sleep there. And I thought to myself, I said, well, you know what? I'm not going to wait 4 hours. I told the man, I said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to wait 4 hours to sleep here. I decided to sleep outside. For a lot of the homeless in the city, it's easier for them to sleep outside than go into a shelter or have to wait at a night shelter where you sleep on the floor, by the way. The Boston Night Shelter, it's just a floor. So I think providing places and services where people can, like have the necessities that they need, like the churches provide food. Places to sleep are important. Inflatable mats, sleeping bags, things of this nature, warm clothes. These are the most important things for people to survive. And I also don't think it's a good idea to allow people to openly use illicit narcotics in the street. I guess those are the biggest messages. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to carry on from here and I'll continue to learn and I'll add policy points as I talk to people, do interviews, and learn about living homeless in Massachusetts. Thank you very much.